Guys, welcome. Thanks for coming. Easton Training Center instructional video. We're looking at armbar from side control. I look at this with great trepidation because one of my professors, Professor Helio Seneca Morera, probably made me do this 1,000 times. So I feel confident with it unless he's watching, because he still yells at me to this day because I do something wrong. But this is how it works. You ready? You can't control somebody's arm and let them get away with it easy. Too many people do that. So first of all, he's laying, his feet are that way and his head is this way. I'm on the side. He makes the mistake to learn it of reaching up and over my shoulder, right? A lot of beginners do this. Maybe later on, I'm sorry, the other side of my head. This side right here. A lot of beginners do this. Later on, you're going to learn how to scoop it up. But we're going to start right here. My right hand reaches, right, nice and low, and I'm going to grab my lapel and feed him. When I do that, I use my knee to control him so he doesn't put me in half guard. Now my left hand goes right here and just plants on the floor, fingers together so I don't get him hurt, and I just go there. If he starts getting his leg in, sometimes I'll walk my hand down a little bit like that. Up there it is, and then just plant it on the floor and I kind of walk his legs away. Right? Left hand on the floor, blocking his guard, right hand on the lapel. What I want to do is use my head kind of like a little arm, so he can't bring his arm around my head. I don't want him to be able to do this. Go bring your arm to the other side. But I can't let that happen. So he brings it back, and I'm pinching here. So he tries to bring it around. Sometimes I'll even put my forehead on the floor, as long as my hips don't come too high so I get judo rolled over. So I'm going to hold nice and tight here, blocking his legs. I fed the lapel if I need to, so I put my knee kind of right there to control him, feed it tight, and grab it. He tries to get his arm out. It's not going to happen, right? Nice and heavy, hips low. From here, I'm going to switch my base and step over his head. This is important because once he knows what he's doing, he's going to be trying to stop me from getting over his head with his right arm, left arm here. So I'm going to switch my base, and I step. Once my knee is by his head, I put it on the floor, and now he can no longer keep me from rotating. Once I dominate this arm, as I start rotating around, is how he gets submitted. So here we go. Sometimes he's going to block me with this arm. Sometimes I have to come high, over, drop down, and now I'm just squeezing his head with my legs, always controlling his arm with my head. I'm going to lift him up onto his side. As I do that, my left arm is going to hold either his tricep, his bicep, or his lat right here. Sometimes his leg will get stuck, his arm will get stuck between my legs. I hold right here because I'm going to pull him up onto his side, right there. Ideally, the way I like it to happen is like this. Switch base, step over the head. Left hand goes right here to his bicep. Push it down, drive my shin over. Now I control him very well. Drive him up on his side. And remember, I can't let him bring his arm around my head. So he tries to bring his arm around, pop, I blew it. Go back. I hold here, he tries. It's hard. If I want to make him uncomfortable, we don't do this in class, but my elbow's kind of right there on his ribs. If you can see his face, it's not pretty. Normally it is just the face he's making. So I'm holding it nice and tight. It almost arm bars him right here, just that pressure. So that's how tight I want it. I want it nice and snug. Hand on the floor, step. When I step, it needs to be the line of the belt and 8 inches away. Big mistake is people step way too far, or more commonly, they step right under his back. So when I pivot, my leg's not in the right place. Or they don't step far enough. When he's trying to spin with me, I need to step line of the belt. See, so as I go here, his head gets stuck. Now I come up and pivot. My left hand grabs his opposite armpit, and as I lay back, I'm going to allow both my knees to face the sky, and I'm trying to end up with my head as far this way as possible. Pinch those legs, come back, and I'm just finishing him with the elbow. If I'm having a hard time, the guy gets real squirmy, I grab, control his wrist, finish here. My foot is way far out, which makes it easy for me to flip it over if I need to start working here. One more time, a little bit faster. Boom, he reaches over, I grab. Okay, I can't let him have his arm back now. I should be able to do this slow and controlled. There's a few spots I have to go kind of quick, but basically he doesn't get his arm out. Here we go. Adjust, make it tight. I'll do the same thing, no gi. Switch, step over the head. Drive the bicep down. Boom, step, up. As I lay back, I pull his armpit in, control, finish the armbar. Now look, here's something. There's a lot of different ways to do the armbar from side control. Professor Marshall likes to do it a little different. This is the way I think you should learn it first. If he reaches to the other side, I do the same thing. I still hold right here. It's just that I'm going to have to work with the kimura and some different potential finishes. Switch my base, step over the head, up, drive, over his bicep, step, pivot, boom. There's my arm bar. Exactly the same. Which means when I start with his arm here, which is where I want it, if I blow it with my head and he does get his arm to the other side, it doesn't matter. I'm still attacking the same arm bar. Right? Remember, as I get here, my left arm is looking to drive his arm down and to come there. That takes this arm out of the game. Up on the side, step, pivot, arm bar. Spin around again. So there's my basic arm bar from side control. What's going to happen is I'm going to lose his arm with my head, and I'm going to have to deal with that afterwards. So here I am, right? Switch base, step over the head, and as I come up here, drive my leg over. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. If I don't, I hold, come here. But he gets his arm around my head. I blew it. So now we're in this position. The first thing that I'm going to do, rotate, 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 is close up my figure four right here. 1, 2. Right? I can go back and finish the arm bar, but at this point he can keep his arms shut. So when I lay back, now I have to deal with this situation, which is fine, but not ideal. So instead, here I am. I came around, right? 1, 2, I closed it up. My right leg steps, the same spot. It's important it's at least the length of the belt and 8 inches away. I'm going to use my whole body now to open this up. You always got to be careful, make sure you go the right way. Look, hold, pull. 1, okay, it's 90 degrees, so you can't grab his leg again. And 2, finish right there. Once again, usually he grabs his belt or pants. So when I open, I always pull this way because it's safe for him as well as not going to hurt him. And it opens this grip very well. If I pull that way, it's going against all his fingers. Doesn't work out so well. So here we go. I'm set to go. I can pivot back for the arm bar, but instead, boom, 1, 2. You need to practice just that motion right there. 1, 2. What people do when they mess it up is they pull this way and they hurt the shoulder. I don't want that to happen. It's not good for me, not good for him. This way and this way. There's my kimura. I could still pivot, lay back on the arm bar as well. My final submission is going to be kind of sneaky. If the person puts their chin in, it's not going to be good for them. But I don't want that to happen. Take care of my partner. But I'm here. I lost his arm. He's defending it very well. So I sense maybe it's a big, strong guy. I sense I'm going to have a problem. So here I am. Maybe I pull 1, 2. It doesn't work. I pull my foot back down. I lean forward. It picks his head up. I pivot my leg under. See my right leg? Boom. Do that motion. Boom. Here we go. Pivot. I lay back. My left leg scoops under his chin. I don't let go of my grip. Cross my legs. It's extending and squeezing. So it's this motion. Right? I'm always squeezing. It's not a triangle. It's this. There he taps. Now I also practice how to get out of here. Every time when I'm done, I let go. As long as I keep his arm tight here, it's hard for him to get on top. He tries to get on top. I'm not going to wait forever, but look. I pivot back. Step 1. Boom. Open it up. Finish. Forward. Leg under. Lay back. Finish. Back up. Step over. Kimura. Forward. Pivot. Neck crank. It should be a choke if you get it right. If the guy gets his chin in, then sometimes it feels like it's going to dislocate your jaw. But if he doesn't get his chin in, it should be a choke. Sometimes if he gets his hand in, you can't finish it, which is when you're going to switch right back to either a kimura or pop. The arm bar. Guys, practice it. This is one of your fundamental attacks from side control. Here's a little bonus. Look, as the guy gets better, he's going to start keeping his arms in tight so he doesn't reach up around my head. He's getting more intelligent. So I'm laying here, look at my left arm. I scoop like this. Right there, my right hand's blocking his guard. And as I come around, my arm rotates and I control like this. So I'm scooping, controlling. I control here. He tries to turn into me. He can't because I'm bicep to tricep. Right there, control now. 1, 2, step over. Boom, there's my kimura. So this is how I'm going to take it when the guy doesn't reach over my back. Make sense? Or I can take my hand here, and now look, I get my hips high, and I drive my shoulder to here. So it's going to kind of scoop it up, you see? Now I grab. Once I get here, he tries to get that arm out. It's not happening. Switch, step, drive, Finish the arm bar, he gets his arm out, set up the kimura, boom, or pivot the leg under, lay back, finish the neck. That's it, guys. This is one of your most basic attacks. I think it's imperative that you understand it. I don't believe anybody should get a blue belt without knowing this pretty solid. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.